All right, I love the song that says it's a lovely day. For me, it's a lovely day, and maybe for a lot of Nigerians, it's a very beautiful day. It's a Wednesday, the 12th of August in the year 2015. My name is Dapo Banjo. This is Cool TV, Channel 196 and Star Times. And this is Crossfire. This is your political platform where we bring to you issues about government and governance, topical issues, controversial, current affairs, and we just allow you to have your opinion and then get informed at the same time and get educated. I'm not alone in the studio. We'll be doing very quick businesses, and for me, you will enjoy this particular package that we have for you. Ishioma is in the studio with me, and we'll be running the show together. Ishioma, how are you today?
Good. Good morning. Good
Great.
morning, and welcome to Crossfire today.
All right. We are not alone in the studio. We have these two gentlemen who have mastered their onions over the years. They are good at what they do. The first person I would like you to meet, as we discuss security in Nigeria as it is. Where are we and where are we going to? And I have this gentleman joining us. He's an environmental justice advocate. His name is nnimmo bassey. nnimmo bassey, good morning and good to have you on Crossfire.
A pleasure to be with you.
Welcome to Crossfire.
Thank you.
All right. Now, nnimmo is not the only person, with us in the studio. We have these other security experts. This is someone who has been around for quite a while, and we'll be discussing how we actually got to this very particular situation in Nigeria. Let's welcome to the show Prince Henry Osuagwu.
Thank you.
Prince
Welcome
Henry,
to
how are
Crossfire.
you?
Thank you.
Welcome.
Nice to have you on Crossfire. Now, you and I know that there was a time in the history of Nigeria that security was something that nobody really bothers, about. When I was growing up, it became really very glaring that that security situation was something that was totally tolerable, as we have low fences built around houses in Nigeria. But the difference, that we have experienced in recent past is to see very tall fences, and even at the top of the fences, then you see electrical wiring, just to ensure that there is adequate protection for everybody who lives in their houses. So we have eventually succeeded over the years to build, a wall of defense around ourselves. And then talking about what is happening in the northeastern part of Nigeria, talk about the activities of Boko Haram in the last 6 years in Nigeria. So we'll be talking about the state of the nation as it borders around security, and this gentleman will be doing justice to that. Now, nnimmo. I'm coming, nnimmo.
Thank you.
Did I get it now? Nnimmo.
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 Let's make it easier for you.
Okay, nnimmo. All right, nnimmo. Let's quickly talk about this. You are an environmental advocate, and you've been around, and you know what has been happening to security, or what we have experienced in terms of insecurity in Nigeria today. I'm looking at it from an environmental point of view, considering what has happened or what is happening at the moment in the northeastern part of Nigeria, where a lot of our lands have been, taken over by desert or desertization, as it were. Now, this has built a very strong hold for Boko Haram over, about 6 years now that they've unleashed terror on the occupants of the land in the northeastern part of Nigeria. From an environmental or an environment point of view, how do you see security in Nigeria?
Well, thank you very much. To start from your first point about high fences, I think our homes have become prisons. Indeed, I remember some years back, it was a requirement of the law for building design, residential design, that a room should have at least an entrance and another alternative way of escape. If something happens, there's a fire or some other kind of incident. So you could open a window and jump out of the window. But today, we have security bars on windows. We have bars before the doors. If anything happens, you can't even get out of your bedroom in the night. So I think it's a social and political with economic degradation in the nation, in terms of people not having the basic necessities of life, not access to reasonable livelihoods, in terms of employment and other things. So all these have added up to degrade the way we design our homes, our streets, with gates on streets and all this crime. You can't even go home after a certain hour in the night because your street is locked up.
Exactly.
Then coming to the overall environment, especially in the northeast part of Nigeria, one of the most valuable water bodies in Africa is Lake Chad. And between 1963 and now, Lake Chad, the size of Lake Chad has reduced to about less than about 5% of what it used to be.
Wow.
Within this stretch of time. This is not ancient history, this is reality. And when you lose that amount of water, fresh water, you are displacing fishermen, you are displacing pastoralists, you are displacing farmers. And they have to go somewhere else. Even the little amount of water still left is being taken over by, there's a lot of growth inside there. So you're having bushes where you ought to have water. So the displacement of the population that was dependent on the resources of the lake is contributory to the violence with farmers in the Middle Belt and generally building up the army of young men who have decided to take arms on religious reasons, whereas the actual causes may be
Economic,
like climate change, economic stress. And so there are a number of factors that needs to be addressed. I know there's been an effort to address the issue of recharging water in Lake Chad by bringing water from Central African Republic, but you're passing through a very violent region. There's no assurance that you can get a pipe or whatever that will bring water safely and on time to rescue the lake. So the issues to be looked at in terms of how much water has been stopped from getting to the lake through irrigation processes and all those things. Equally, let me quickly add this also. If you look at northern Nigeria on satellite images, it's not as green as southern Niger Republic. How could that be?
And they're just, I mean, both of them are just on the riverbed.
Right.
I mean, when you look at it, it's just like opposite.
Right.
You stand here and you see one, and then you are on the other side and you see another.
Niger ought to be drier than northern Nigeria. But the way we relate to the environment in Nigeria is a bit different. The laws, the regulations, the knowledge the people have to defend their environment, to plant the trees. We have tree planting exercises every year in Nigeria, but these are mainly for television cameras and for some occasion that you just were planting a forest. We're planting a tree belt. Recently, I was in Burkina Faso to see a local farmer who has done a lot to stop the desert in this region, northern Burkina Faso. And this man has been working for 40 years, planting trees in a formerly more or less arid land, using traditional knowledge and local technology, digging holes, putting local compost there, and waiting for rain. The little rain they have is trapped in those holes. And this man has restored 28 hectares.
Wow.
Of forest. The last night when they met with local authorities in the forestry department, and they said, this forest in the Sahel region is too thick. We need to thin it out. I mean, I think that was a good problem to have. We have a lot to learn. When you have a safe environment, you have security. But when the environment is hostile to life, then of course you're going to have the kind of things we have in the northeast and also southern.
That's really very.
I need to also say that. Well, I completely agree with you, and I know that some of the problems, especially with regards to the environment, well, we could put the bulk of the problems on the government because of they've not been able to implement some of these environmental policies. But let's look at the other hand. We also know that some of these problems are also caused by economic reasons. For example, the issue about you having some certain products or services which are toxic in nature. That's one of the problems in Nigeria. Do you think that's something the government or the nation of Nigeria can address to be able to also protect the environment, which is most important? Knowing fully well that it also causes some problems for importers or those who use some of these commodities. Don't you think that will be resolving one problem and then creating another problem on the other hand?
No, tackling environmental problem, security problem has to be holistic. And so we have government must work, or government departments have to work together, or health, economic, all must work together to be sure when they meet and resolve issues that things are being done in a way that all these expected reactions are addressed. Okay. And so, for example, Nigeria needs a lot of money. We make a lot of money from crude oil sales. But how is the extraction of crude oil affecting the environment? You cannot destroy the fisheries, pollute the water, kill the local communities just to make money. Because life is more valuable than money. And when you describe people, Nigerians are very innovative. Nigerians are ready, if the environment is right, they have clean water, good soil, to cultivate their crops, to process what they have. Nigerians are ready to use all their creativity to ensure their livelihoods. But when the environment is hostile, then people are forced to find other means.
All right, thank you very much, nnimmo bassey. I'm trying to not to call that name. Now, Prince Henry. As a security expert, Prince Henry, let's quickly look at, from your angle, as a security personnel, you have been around, you know what security used to be in this country, and you know exactly where we are at the moment. Let's take your view on the current security situation in Nigeria.
Yes, thank you very much. When we talk about security, security is everybody's business. Let's get it right. We don't say because we have these the different state agents that are supposed to secure us. First of all, security should start from you. Everybody throws stones. One, we should also understand the fact that Nigeria is under-policed. Let's get this straight.
So if you say Nigeria is under-policed, you're simply talking about the personnel.
Yes, Nigeria is under-policed. You have a population of well over 170 million.
Maybe almost 200.
Almost 200 million.
If not more.
And do you have up to 2 million policemen to police these people? This is a critical question. We are talking security here. We are talking about security challenges. We have to look at it in depth.
Okay.
Now you are talking about building fences.
Yeah, because Nigerians have learned to protect themselves.
Yes, the dynamics of crime has changed over time. Remember in those days that when a criminal comes, your grandfather will carry a knife and the man will run away from there. But now the criminal comes and asks you, my friend, open the door. You open the door and say, what do you have? You say, this is what I have. So as a result of that, that change has forced you and myself to now fortify, to harden the target. That's what we call target hardening. That is where the economical situation...
And then the targets to, or the criminal, they've also re-strategized. They know that you have built a wall of defense round about yourself. So they don't come like we're coming to greet you. They come determined to get to where they are going and get whatever
But don't you think the reason why we've gotten to this level is also because the police force especially, they have failed to live up to responsibility. I have seen situations where some some estates were under attack by some hoodlums, and they called the nearest police units to come to their aid, and they were giving them all sorts of excuses. Most times we've seen that some of these hoodlums work hand in hand with police operatives, and after giving security information, they come back to deal with people living within that vicinity. So don't you think this has also made the people live far off from the police force?
I don't think I agree with you.
Okay.
I don't think I agree with you. Why I don't think I agree with you is I've made a point here. The first point I have struck on this show is that Nigeria is under police, 1. 2, you talk about the police attitude. Have you visited any of their barracks and see the places who you expect to be reasonable comes out from? Okay. Have you created time to go to the barracks?
I think the typical police...
Is an excuse.
No, listen.
An excuse?
It's not an excuse. I think psychologically, some of them are not okay. Forget if they are, if Nigeria is under police.
We're in trouble.
Now we are getting to somewhere.
We're in a very bad situation.
If we must address it, the government must motivate the police, provide them with adequate military hardware.
Yeah, but government has always released money, Prince Henry. Government has always funded the Nigerian police. If we have a management, looking at the Nigerian police force as an institution, and then government on regular basis, when I say regular basis, maybe by yearly or yearly, has already apportioned a part of the budget to either re-equip or support or do whatever that they need to do to the Nigerian police. And we have it in record that some of these funds have been totally mismanaged by authorities in the Nigerian police force. Now, if eventually that has contributed to the level of decadence that we are seeing in the Nigerian police force today, I mean, how do you blame that on
the people?
on the
Listen. What you are not getting me right.
Okay.
What I'm saying here is that the Nigerian police needs to be well motivated.
Okay.
Like there's a question she asked. She said that when you have issues, have you seen that maybe they are robbing somewhere now? You call the police. Instead of the police to start coming, what they do, they blow siren. What is that siren telling the police, the criminal? Run away.
Run away, we are coming.
So that means they work hand in hand with them.
Listen, so now,
I mean,
no, they are not working hand in hand with them.
Probably they work hand in hand.
Not particularly.
So they're giving them
it is because
take off.
No.
When you take off,
Not
come and
What
schedule
I'm
your
saying here
returns.
is
they
that
responded to you not to come and fight the criminals, but to
scare them away.
scare them away.
Scare them away. Tomorrow they come and they cause more havoc.
Have you asked yourself a question? I'm not speaking for them. I don't like people criticizing the police much, but though they have to be criticized.
Okay.
You understand? Everybody's entitled to his own opinion. You see, let me tell you something. Have you heard about a situation where a policeman dies in active service, and the next week he's thrown out of that barrack?
The family.
The family is thrown out of that barracks.
So these are structural problems.
These are structural problems. You don't blame the policeman on the street, please. Don't blame that policeman at all.
We have seen some policemen handle rifles.
Okay.
I mean, carelessly, like they're holding a pen. We've seen, in fact, that if you go on YouTube, on some social media pages, you see some of them pointing guns at innocent people, threatening innocent people, beating up innocent people because they refuse to give them bribe. At the end of the day, even if they have some grievances against the government, well, because of some structural defects, does that mean that they should also turn against the people who they should protect?
No.
Does that mean they should also turn against the people who they live amongst?
No. They shouldn't do that.
But that's what we have.
But if you have
I can say categorically that that is the reason why there's been so much security breach in the nation. That's why you see people, in the northern part of the country, you have Boko Haram. In the southern part of the country, you have the Niger Delta militants. And then you come down to this western part, you have kidnapping so rampant.
Well, militants.
Okay.
But if they continue to blame all of this on the government, how can we not get security right?
Let's quickly, see.
Thank you very much.
Now, nnimmo said something,
Yes.
It talks about, its first statement was like, see, when we talk about security, we're talking about social security, economic security, and political security. We can look at it holistically.
Right.
And the truth is just that, taking it from your point, it is really very, we have a situation that seemingly look like we are looking at it holistically. But the truth is that it is not actually looked that way. Is government saying it that way? Is government concentrating on virtually everything? Because when you mentioned something now, the economic hardship that a typical police officer probably is going through will make him get compromised very easily. Less you have the scenario you are painting, ishioma, where you have police officers trying to probably extort money from people, and in the process of trying to do that, if the person resists or bring forth any form of resistance, and then the police officer takes advantage of that situation because he's carrying a rifle and because he's putting on a uniform to overpower that person to ensure that whatever his intentions are at the beginning of the conversation or the engagement is eventually come to pass. Now, looking at it from holistically, what and where has government gone wrong?
I think that's a very big question.
It is.
We need a whole book to address it. But the thing is that first of all, government must be trusted by the people. People must have confidence that government can deliver on basic social services, that there's electricity, that there is water, and that people can move about in safety. Now, if people don't trust government to provide these basic things, then of course people have to defend themselves. And then those who know that people can't really depend on the security forces to protect them, they have to find, they have the field there because now they know they can they can attack. It's a situation of dog eat dog. Actually, the poor are worse off than the rich. Because this unfortunate situation, when things do happen, the poor turn against the poor rather than turn against those who are looting the nation and who are bringing everybody else a system.
It's because we can't reach them. They've built a wall of...
This is another problem with the police force. So many policemen protecting one person. You find a convoy in front, a convoy behind, and one man is sitting in the middle there. Well, I mean, if you have 10 policemen or 20 policemen protecting one individual, who is going to protect the rest of the citizens of this nation?
All right. I mean, that's really
These are
very
issues to be addressed.
Yeah, that's really very interesting. Let's go on a short break now. When we come back, we'll still be talking about the state of the nation on security. We'll be right back.
So, did you like what you just saw? I know you did. It's very simple. If you want to see more, just subscribe to our channel right now.